Hey crafty people, it's Tasha and I'm back with another instalment of Make It Wow. I'm sharing 2 more examples of backgrounds that I've made using texture paste to add some heat embossing. I've previously shared a shorts tutorial and I'll link that above. So alongside some fabulous wow products, I'm going to be using lots of items from Alex Syberia Designs today, and I'll have everything that I've used linked in the description box below. So we're starting by taping off a portion of this A2 size panel because I want to mask off the upper part to allow me to stencil just on the bottom half. I've extended the tape though, so that tape is now holding my cardstock onto the glass mat to keep it in place. I'm going to angle my stencil to match, and then I'm also going to tape down the stencil to the glass mat to stop that from slipping, and I just prefer to work with everything taped down. So I've chosen some grey inks from Ultinew, and I'm starting with the very lightest one from this family. Once I've got that done, I'm going to shift my stencil a little. I'm going a little bit down and to the left before ink blending again with a darker grey. I actually did that step twice to give me a subtle kind of echo look to the pattern. It is a little hard to see the lightest one on camera, but it is definitely there. Now carefully peel the tape back to avoid tearing. Slowly really does win the race here. Now I'm going to reposition to mask off the lower half so that we can add the stencil back into place on the top half this time, and we're going to repeat the same taping method to the stencil and cardstock again. I'm going to add Ranger's matte transparent texture paste, but just use any brand you have. I've tried a few different ones. I will link some options down below. Using an angled palette knife, this allows me to get better control over where I put it. I just find it's easy. You can scoop it straight out of the jar easily and straight onto your cardstock. In my last Make It Wow, I applied embossing powder to the texture paste, but I left it to completely dry before heating. This time I'm going to heat set it straight away. This way, effectively, I'm going to be drying the paste with the heat. Now, depending on how thick your application of paste is, you might get a bit of bubbling and some movement when you do it this way. I don't mind that for this design, but if you want to avoid it, then just apply your powder to wet paste, set it aside to dry, and then heat set it once it's completely dry. I'm for maximum texture here, so I'm using frosted glass. This is a fabulous mix of different grades of clear powder, so you get some really big chunks and it gives you a really completely unique texture and effect. It's one of my absolute favourites for mixed media looks especially. As always, keep your gun moving and try to heat evenly from the front and the back, but some slight warping is pretty unavoidable with this technique because of the moisture that's in that wet paste. Next up, I'm using a watercolour panel that I created in another crafty session, and I'll link to a quick video from that session above. And I'm changing up my stencil. I'm not going to mask anything off this time, so I'm going to secure the panel to the stencil from the back, and then again I'll tape that stencil down onto my glass mat. We're adding texture paste with the same angled palette knife, just to cover the whole thing. Then I'm going to use this large stencil buddy. This will smooth it out and make sure that I've got an even application across the whole panel. I'm using polished gold for this panel, and I've poured the powder over it and I repeat it a few times just to make sure that every bit is covered. Keep turning it and yeah, you can see when it's all covered. Then again, it's time to heat set. This technique gives such an amazing effect. You've got the ombre watercolour peeking through in between that gold pattern. I think it's a really unique look and one that will have people wondering exactly how you created it. I know I had a lot of questions when I posted the finished card over on our Instagram. I finished this first background with a strip of that polished gold with a mixture of vellum and embossed die cut leaves. Both cards have polished gold embossed sentiments, but I chose to add 3 onto my second background. I really like that look of 3 sentiments all at sort of jaunty little angles. I also trimmed down this panel and I matted it onto another panel made from the same watercolours, just to make it that bit more confusing to the eye. Plus I added some matching jewels for extra sparkle. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more heat embossing tips, tricks and inspiration. And I've got links to all the products used, as well as to a blog post that's got more photos and more details on both of the cards. Have a lovely, happy, safe and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.